All right, here we go. What's going on? Welcome back. Thanks for joining me once again. This is a series, Nuts and Bolts is a series where we go through the Overland Bound 1 app that's available on the iOS and Android store. And what we do is we take one thing and we talk about it and tell you guys how to do certain things, because the app, man, are we proud of it. There is a lot to it. You can do a lot. There are three main categories. There's the community features, which allow you to connect with the community, the overland community. There's the event planning features, whether it be an online event, a training session, or a trip that you can use to plan a trip. And then there's the resource map, all kinds of locations for you guys to go and check out. And we always add to it. Of course, if you guys have been hanging out, you know that, but we have a new release about every 2 weeks. And so lots of really cool stuff now and on the way. But since there's so much, we need to go through it and tell you guys what you can do. Today, we're gonna talk about, again, the basics, adding a location, but there's quite a few options. So let's take a look. Let's dive right in. All right, now, I like running the app in the dark mode, especially at night, easier on the eyes. But anyway, that's what I'm in. And I am going to explain to you guys that I'm in our development environment. So as I scroll through the app, you guys are going to see it's nothing but kind of bogus information in there. So you might see rally points that don't make sense or messages that don't make sense. But that's because I'm doing this on our test environment. But everything applies. It's the same as the live environment, the app that you guys can put your hands on in the iOS and Android store. Did I already mention that? All right, let's jump right in. So now you add locations on the map. Boom, 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 boom. I wasn't tapping the button. Okay, so on the map, there are 4 tabs. There's the resource tab, the rally point tab, trails tab, and the members tab. And so if you're gonna add any kind of a resource, you wanna be on the resource tab. If you're going to add a trail, you want to be on the trail tab. Trails are really important to our community, so we've separated them out into a different tab. Now, coming up very quickly, you guys are going to be able to import your own tracks and trails into the app, and you can either make them public or you can keep them private for yourself. But trails and resources are different. Overlanders, whether you're going out for a weekend or you're going on a 6-month journey, there are certain resources that you guys need, and that's where we focus, right? We are an overland app. So our filters are for things like Wi-Fi, trusted mechanics, places you can go, a shower, things of that nature, all right? So to that end, when you create a location, the way you create a location is you hit this plus button in the lower right-hand corner, and that brings up your location type selector. This is how you're adding a location. Now, notice the UI is big and fat. We do that intentionally. You're on the go. You don't want to be messing around with little tiny buttons, and there's too many apps out there where they're just awful to try and use. So great big buttons, all right? And you see all the different kinds of things you can add. Now, what I'm going to add is I'm going to add a campsite for the sake of argument. Now, you'll see before I set the type, down here in the information, that icon is just a blank icon on the map. And then when I choose campsite, it'll switch that icon to a campsite. So it reminds me the kind of site that we are adding. See, now it's got the campsite icon, so you'll be reminded what you're adding, or it'll show you that you've selected the wrong type. Now, the other thing you've noticed is that now that I've selected camp type, all this information has changed, right? So what happens if I select what happens if I say medical? All different options, right? Appropriate during select hours. You can even add different hours. All the information is appropriate to the location type. We want to make the locations valuable to you, so we want to add the appropriate information. So when you add a location, we ask that you add this information for folks, all right? So here we are, campsite. Now, You just go through and you fill it out as much as you possibly can. So dispersed, okay, we're going to say, hey, this is dispersed camping. It will accept a vehicle. There's no fee because it's dispersed. There's no toilet. You got to pack it out, my friend. Don't even dig a hole. Put it in a bag, pack it out. That's the right thing to do. All right. Shower. Yep, hot showers in a dispersed camping ground. I don't know, I'm making this up. Remember, I'm on the dev environment. I can do anything I want. All right. Electric hookups? No. Water? Yes. Dump station? No. Pet friendly? Yes. Wi-Fi, blazing fast Wi-Fi out here in our dispersed camping site. And then you want to add a photo, right? We're going to select that from gallery. Boom. We're going to go here. Add a photo. Now you can also choose, you can also use your camera, the phone camera. So if you're actually at the campsite, you go ahead and click it. If you're at the campsite, as long as you have a GPS signal, which is in most places, this will set your pin at that location, but I'm going to show you how to fine tune it, okay? Location title, test camp. Weird title. Description, short. Description, okay? Contact. Nope, there's no contact information. Now, if you do add this stuff, then in the summary card that displays once you add your location, that icon will light up and then people can just click on it and they'll be able to call, okay? My rating, 4-star campsite. Now that's important because it'll show people an average rating. I'm going to call it a 4-star. Now, this is important. A lot of folks don't know this. And that's why I want to do these videos, because you look at this and that icon is set at your location. So people look at it and they're like, oh, okay, well, it's pretty close. And then they say save. That's not what you should do. What you should do is you should expand this map like this. Boom. Give yourself a full screen view and then very accurately place this icon. Now you move this icon by pushing and holding. Boom. Now you can move it. And so you can get down to 3-meter accuracy by clicking and moving the icon, okay? Now, it will update the GPS coordinates based on where you dragged the location. So that's how you get super precise. Then when people are on the resource map and they zoom way in, they'll be able to see right where it is, okay? Now, we're going to make this a public location. We want to share it with everyone. And then you agree to the terms and service, very, very important. And then you create that location, okay? Boom. Boom. And that's all there is to it. Now, don't be confused. It's not going to show up right away. Now, why? Because all the locations on the Overland Bound map are curated. We look at them. When I'll get a notification right now, somebody added a location, then we'll go and we'll review the location to make sure it's really a campsite and that it's not somehow in this world we live in, spam or something like that, right? So we do check every campsite and usually they're approved within 24 hours or so, all right? You know, I mean, if you're at the camp spot, you don't need the information because you're there. But that's how that works, all right? Now, trails are very similar. Trails, you'll see it says off-road trailhead at the top because that's all you can add on the trail tab. Same thing, add all your information. Now coming up in the next few weeks, we're going to have GPX import. There's going to be a lot more trail information, so look forward to that. As I said, we update the app about once every 2 weeks. So things change quite frequently. So always go get the latest version of the app if you want the latest features, okay? Now, I want to show you, once you add that location, people can find it. So we click on here, we say, hey, cool camp. I'm on the dev environment, so like I said, bogus information. But now we have a standard inside the app. Whenever you see GPS coordinates like this, when you tap on them, you see that little green thing? That little green sign? It means it copied the coordinates to the clipboard. Now, if I want to, I can since I'm on the map, I can go, hey, if I happen to be someplace else, I can go, hey, paste that into the clipboard, and it'll zoom me to that location, right? So anybody can do that. Also, if you want to navigate to that location, we'll have navigation in the future. 2021, that's coming. So you just be able to navigate inside the Overland Bound 1 app. But for now, if you're using another navigation software, you can copy the address, or you can share the location to another app. You can send it in a message or something like that. So that way, you don't just have the resources in the app, but you can actually navigate there. And this last one you see, you can save it to your private locations or to your locations. So if you filter, right, you filter for my locations, you apply that filter, then it will only show your locations. So once you add a location, anybody can find it, and they can take advantage of it. They can share it within the Overland Bound community. So super, super helpful, inspires other people to get out there to explore and find new destinations. Now, I do want to point this out because not everybody's, is into, trophies and badges and things like that. It's okay. But if you look at our badge structure, of course, the Overland Bound Adventurer, in order to complete all these badges, there are share at least one destination, right? When you add locations to the map, then it goes towards your score. The score is actually kind of important. If you use the Overland Bound app just as a utility, as a tool, which is what we want you to do, cool. However, if you're highly engaged in the social aspect of it, remember, we have the forums, we have private messaging, we have all those things. People can see your rank, and your rank is based on your score, and it shows how involved with the community you are. So if you do create a rally point, and you're very involved in the community, it's probably a pretty good indication that the rally point, the event, the online meeting, or whatever that you host is probably going to be pretty good. So a lot of folks are into the participating and grinding for those badges, right? So some of them require some training, and so it's one aspect. And adding locations, sharing trails, sharing locations of different types will contribute to that score as well. All right? Okay, you guys, if you have any questions about how to add locations in the Overland Bound 1 app, then just ask in the comments, and I'm glad to answer questions for you. Remember, it is a holiday season right now, so if you want to give the gift of an Overland Bound membership, we have gift memberships over in the store, so go check it out. Thanks for hanging out with me, you guys. We'll do this again next week, and we'll pick a new topic, a new how-to, and we'll go through it. Thanks for hanging out, you guys. Cheers. I'll see you on the trail. Outfit, explore, adventure is necessary. You guys are awesome. You're a great community. Okay, talk to you soon.